Hey, welcome back, YouTube. Welcome to another edition of Frankenstang. Yes, I'm still a little under the weather, but we're plugging along on the old girl here. As you can see, I've got the quarter panel pre-fit. This side's actually going pretty well so far. Running into the, running into the normal fitment issues with reproduction panels. I know I've said this a million times, and I'll say it a million times more. It's great that they make these things, but they don't really fit. They also can't even make a left and right, a mirror image from one another, and I'll show you what I mean here. This area in here has all been repaired. I went in, we got lucky. All the metal that was pushed out with a chisel was still behind the panel, so I was able to hammer and dolly all that back into place, weld it shut. I welded some patches over top of those areas to further strengthen it, but we've got a nice sound repair here. But here's what I'm talking about. If I take a measurement, now again, this is just to show you that the same manufacturer can't even make a mirror image left and right quarter panel. If I take a measurement from this point here to right in here where this radius ends, pretty much right at that spot, I get a measurement of about 11 7/8 of an inch in a straight line. When we come around to the other side, and if you remember back what I had mentioned to you, that I thought I was going to have to cut this panel up to get it to fit, well, this is where one of the problems lied. I knew there was a problem. I just figured, well, we're going to have to fix this once it's on the car. And I think you could probably already see what I'm talking about. You can clearly see that this position is way farther back from the drip rail than the other side. If I take a measurement from that same spot, now granted, you look at this gap, this panel is also bent this way a little bit, and that's how they stamp this panel. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just put a small slice in here, move that back, get my gap where I want it, weld it shut, good to go. If I bring that into position so that I have an even gap and I take a measurement from where it's supposed to be back to this point, I have 12 3/8. Excuse me, it was more like 12 1/4. So 12 1/4, 11 7/8. That's 3/8 of an inch difference. This panel, this stamping in their tooling, this section is 3/8 of an inch longer in their tooling than the other side. So there's a nice fine example of reproduction panels at their finest. These are both from the same manufacturer. So I don't know. I was a tool maker for 20 years. In my eyes, that's pretty bad. That's terrible quality control if you can't mirror image at a left and a right panel. And I don't think Ford had a bigger window on the driver's side. Maybe somebody will find out that I'm wrong, and hey, let me know. I'd love to know if I'm wrong, but I pretty much think they're supposed to be a mirror image with the same dimensions. But we're gonna go ahead and fix that other side. I'm gonna have to weld a piece in there. Gee, the story of my life on this car. I just keep welding away. But anyway, rocker panel looks really good on this car. They had a ton of weld in there, but once I cleaned it all out and laid the new quarter in there, it actually fits quite nice. The new outer wheelhouse is just sitting in place. A couple clamps holding it. I've got a few clecos, a few screws holding all this together. But overall, not bad. Have to work on the gap here a little bit, but as you can tell, here's another example. Look at the difference on this panel. We have a very straight line from the door to the quarter, whereas you saw on the other side, that panel was angled like this. And that's how they stamped it. That's how it was made. It is what it is. We'll make it right. Moving farther back, you can see I've already made some notations, and I've already done a lot of moving back here. And here's a good example of, as I was mentioning to you, why you separate, or why I separated the taillight section from the reproduction quarter. That taillight section is sitting on the ground somewhere. There it is over there. There's a taillight section that was on that new quarter panel. We're not going to use that. I kept the one on the car for a reason, and that is so I could get this thing to line up. As you can see, it looks pretty good. That's probably as good, maybe even better than Ford had it. But what I have to do now is, after closing the trunk, it looks like I've got to lift the whole assembly up in the back which is going to change my gap up front, and I don't want to do that, so we got to do some figuring here. But other than that, so far it's gone on very well. By having that quarter panel free floating all through here, nothing, it's not attached to this extension piece here for the taillight. It allows me to manipulate all that steel all the way around and get it exactly where I want it, squeeze it, clamp it, got a couple clecos. Looks pretty good. We'll see how it turns out when I'm done, because I got to figure out why the back of this one is so low, and I'll show you what I mean here, because we got a real nice trunk gap on both sides. If you look at that gap, everything lines up, all the panels, everything's where it's supposed to be. We come across to the other side, we've pretty much got the same thing. The rubber bumper on this side's pushing up a little bit, but overall, that's pretty darn good for a Mustang, because these things lined up terribly when they were new. But what we have here, if you look at this one, the trunk's up just a little bit. Sorry about that. From the quarter, it's just a little high. And that's just going to be a little bit of massaging. But we go to the other side, it's a lot high. And I need to figure out how to fix the a lot high problem. It's right here. And what I see is, sorry about that again, it's right here. What I see is it looks like the shape of the quarter panel right through here is more of a straight line than arc like the trunk lid. So what I have to determine is the trunk lid right, or is the quarter panel right? I have a feeling the trunk lid's going to be okay, and it's the quarter panel that's going to have to be moved, because this side has the same flowing shape. And as I said, it's not a bad gap for pre-body work stages. I'm going to have to put a little in here. There was just nothing I can do. The way these reproductions are, they're kind of a little wide the way they're stamped. So we're going to have a tiny bit of body filler in there, about a 1/16 of an inch at the most. Back there we don't have to touch. I had to make a patch panel here, as you can see. Found a bunch of damaged metal under here, so broke out the old shrinker stretcher and made a piece of metal up here. It works great. But yeah, this right here, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it's, there you go. You can see up towards the front here we're good. But boy, oh boy, you get right there. And even on the extension, it's even higher than the extension. So I got to look at trying to raise everything up. But that's why we do what we do. Having fun, trying to fix a Mustang, make it better than when it rolled in here. Definitely making it safer than when it rolled in here. As I always say, like, subscribe, ask questions, comments. If you guys want to see a video of something, I'd be more than happy to show you. Whatever you like. So I'm going to go ahead. This panel, I've probably pre-fit this on and off, a dozen times now. It's coming off, I'm sure, a dozen more times before I'm happy with it, before I start welding it. So we're going to keep plugging along. We'll see you guys.